Are you ready to get started with video, and especially maybe do a video and publish your first YouTube video, but you're still not sure how to go about it? Well, in this video, I want to cover 5 of the basic things that you need to start with first. Now, what we're going to be talking about, you can also call pre-production. So when I worked in television, we spent a lot of time in pre-production, and the reason we would do that is because it would save us time when we got into production. If you think of the life of a video, the life cycle of a video, but you've got pre-production, which are the things you can do before you even start. Then you've got production, which is actually when you're going to be shooting the video and doing things. And then you've got post-production, and those can be the things you do after the video. And that could include everything from color grading if you do that, and maybe mixing your audio, editing, putting the finishing touches on it. But this video is talking about things to think about to help you in your pre-production. First up, decide on the topic. This will really help you focus in on what the video is about. To have an idea for your video, and I think it's good to have a singular idea. So like this video, even though it covers 5 things, it's about the basics you need to do video for the first time. The takeaway for this video would be to empower you and help you know the things to think about to save time. So decide on your topic and then think about what the takeaway is going to be. Like, what is the one thing that you want people to do after? Now, you can have a lot of different things, but I think the more options you give somebody, it's like at a restaurant. If you go and there's just like page after page after page after page, even Gordon Ramsay wouldn't agree with that. Now, once you've decided what the topic is, let's talk about how you do it, how you might want to present it. You could write an entire script. I typically don't script, but if that works for you, that's fine. I typically do write long form if it's for like a blog or a book or sometimes a newsletter. But for scripts like this, what I choose to do are outlines and bullet points. That can help me kind of think through the talk, think through the video and how I want to talk about it. But again, you have to figure out kind of what works for you. Now, a question I do get a lot is, do I recommend a teleprompter? And the answer is yes and no. Now, I do have one called the Elgato Prompter. And if you're going to get one, that's the one I would recommend. I got it really to help more with interviews because it can serve as a second monitor. I didn't use it as much as I thought I did. It's in my gear closet, but I would still recommend that. I'll put a link to that down below. The tricky thing about a prompter is if you're not used to reading off of it, it can come across as reading. Maybe that's okay. And I don't want you to think too hard about this, but one of the things I love about video is that point of connection. So right now I have notes I'm going off of, but I've got enough notes that I can talk off the top of my head and share what I want to. But again, once you've decided your topic, then think about how you want to present it. Is it going to be a full script? Is it going to be an outline? Is it going to be bullet points? Are you going to read it? Is it going to be a voiceover? Or is it going to be memorized? Try whatever works for you, and feel free to experiment because however you do it now, you may change in the future. Number 2, what gear will you use? Now, the reason I put this in here about gear is because this, again, will help you save time before you start. So like, for example, I have a lot of different cameras, probably more than I need, and I wouldn't recommend getting a ton of cameras to start. I use my phone sometimes if I want to do something quick. I use my DJI Osmo Pocket 3. But I've also, like for this shot, whenever I do anything at my desk, I have a Canon M6 Mark II mounted to my desk. Every piece of gear has a different purpose. So for example, if I'm going to shoot something at my desk, which I do a lot, and a lot of times if I'm doing tutorials or things like this, I use my desk setup. I know I can just turn it on, turn my light on, there's a mic overhead, and I'm ready to go and record it however I record it, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So not only knowing what gear you'll use, that can also help you decide how you want to shoot it. Again, if I'm going to shoot at my desk, my setup is done. I turn it on and go. But depending how you'll shoot the video can also depend on the gear you need. Are you going to be doing an unboxing video? Are you going to be doing a vlog traveling around? So again, think through that after you've got your topic, and the gear will help you. One piece of advice, keep it simple. I would not produce because you don't have the right camera. I see that as the biggest mistake and the thing that holds most people back. There is no best camera. There is no right camera. Use what you have to shoot that makes sense. Because remember, the gear will help you create, but it won't make you creative. Number 3, what about music and sound effects? So music and sound effects, those are two things that can really add a lot extra to your video and something to think about. And there's a lot of different ways to think about. One of the programs that I've used for a long time, and I really appreciate them being a sponsor of this video, is Upbeat. I think the two ways to go about music for your videos is think about the music ahead of time or think about it after the fact. So sometimes I know what the video is going to be about, but I want that cut of music to really kind of help me score it. So what I do is I go to my Upbeat account and I can look for different types of moods or backgrounds or things like that. And I'll start listening and I'll go, yep, that's the cut I need. And so therefore I'll download that and I'll edit my video to that music. Another way to add music to your video, and probably the one I do more of, is I edit the video, I get it the way I want it, and then I go to Upbeat Music, because again, that's what I've used for a long time, and I find the cut of music that I really think works well with what that video is about. So as soon as I log in, I'll scroll down, and sometimes I'll go down to beats. Again, depends on what I'm doing. I like jazzy beats, I like chill hop beats. I'll go to mood. This is another good one, and you can see there's different ones in here. One of the things I really love about Upbeat is it's visual, like I am, and so therefore I'm looking at things like background vibe. You can see easygoing is different than hype, is different from lighthearted. They have different music style. Themes, I've used that a lot. And sometimes I'm using how-to and tutorial, even if it's not about how-to and tutorial. So here's technology, and it all works the same. When you get in here, you have these options. Energy, so let's say you want something moderate. Vocals, 99% of the time I'm going instrumental because I don't want the lyrics in there. Duration, so you can decide, hey, I want something shorter, and watch what'll happen. I'll leave it 5:30, and you notice it immediately changes the cuts of music. And then what I do a lot of times, again, if this is my video in mind, I play this, I listen to a little of it. See, I personally, I like that. And you have this more like this. So let's say I want this. I come right over here to download and I can save it. I'm gonna just save it to my desktop and it's that easy. What about sound effects? Well, Upbeat has sound effects too. On the left-hand side, you'll see sound effects. When you go here, this is what's really cool. They have a lot of these already for you, but a lot of times what I will do is, let's say I'm gonna search in sound effects and I want a computer keyboard, it'll give me these. Or this. I actually like that. Again, it works the same way. When I'm ready, I can just download it and it'll download it. Now, something else about Upbeat, I do this, you can whitelist your YouTube channels, which just means you can download the music and sound effects and know that you're not going to get a copyright strike because the music is cleared to use on your YouTube channels, and that is cool. You can get started today with Upbeat for free. Check out the link down in the description for more. Number 4, how will you record it? Again, this helps in the pre-production because it will save you a lot of time. So for example, when I'm at my desk and I'm using my Canon M6 Mark II, keep in mind it's already wired in. I can use a host of different programs to record directly onto my computer, which then can actually speed up the process because I don't have to transfer anything. Now, another way to record it is in camera, basically meaning you have an SD card. I know some cameras will allow you to record directly to the camera. I don't recommend doing that. I would get like an SD card. They come in different prices, but most cameras have one. The DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has one. The Action camera has one. They're smaller. My Canon M50 and M6 has them. Most any type of camera will have an SD card. You record to it, then you take the card out and you can put it into your computer as long as it's got a card slot and edit off of that. Another option is record to like an external disk. Now I use this for my editing and my storage. I have different drives that I put everything on, but again, how are you going to do that? What I would recommend is make sure you have plenty of space. This really applies to if you use your iPhone, which again, I do. So you want to make sure you're not right in the middle of a take and you get that boom, memory full, disk full, because most phones don't start deleting stuff, which is good. So before you use your phone, make sure you have plenty of space to shoot on. And here's a pro tip or a bonus tip. If you shoot in 4K, your files are going to be bigger. So again, you want to make sure you have plenty of space to record that massive 4K file. Number 5, editing. Now I realize for a lot of folks, just the word editing makes you kind of go to a happy place. It doesn't have to be that difficult, but if you're going to edit it, it's good to think about how you will edit it or what program you're going to use. The program I use most of the time, the program I use to edit this, is Final Cut Pro. I use it because I'm a Mac guy. I really like to use it, but if you're on a Mac and you've never edited, try iMovie. It comes free with the Mac, as long as you pay for your Mac, and it's really easy to use. And there's a lot of different things to do around editing, but knowing where you're going to edit it and how you're going to edit it can save you a lot of time. Now, however you shot it will also help you edit it. So for example, this video, I shot several different takes, if you will. So I have a lot of different files and I drop it in. And so it's not like one long take, it's a bunch of different takes on each point that it's easier to edit. So again, thinking of the end in mind, like, okay, if I shoot it this way, then this will help me edit. So having done this for so many years, and I love editing, thinking of how you're going to edit it will also help you in the process as well. Does that mean you have to get everything done before you start editing? Heck no. Sometimes I go back and I find B-roll or cover shots and things like that. But again, thinking it through will save you a ton of time and help you produce the video. So now you've done all that, you got your video, you're ready to upload it to YouTube, what next? Well, what I would do is watch the video on the screen now about the 7 things to do after every upload. I think it's gonna help you. Hope this helped you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.